let's get this started.
Charmely, please start the game.
Emily, please. There we go. All right.
All right, let's get started. Let's see these picks and bans here, because I'm interested. Ooh, Gunner, with the great mentor summoner icon with the ribbon.
Oh, that's so rare. That is so rare. Like, of all of them too. Like, it's so rare to see a ribbon nowadays, but that one in particular is just you gotta work for that.
Yeah, man. The easy way to farm them out: play a lot of bot games. Everyone likes to pat each other on the back after those. Well played, boys. Well played.
It's like recreational basketball. It's like, yeah, well played. Everyone high fives at the end of the game.
Exactly. Got to get in the high five line, dude. That's close. That's close to my heart though, because played a lot of rec basketball.
Oh, me too, man. Dude, I'm 6'7", so they like forced me to play rec basketball. I had no choice.
Yeah.
And it was always the same thing. They were always like, you go stand down on that block and you just clog the lane. No one scores. That's all I did. Didn't have to be good.
Exactly.
I just had to be there.
And turn around and rebound.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yep.
So we see the targeted ban here on the Darius, so none of that for Dunk Prophecy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of other champions he can play, though, so I know he's not too worried about what goes on there. What they need to be paying attention to is what they're going to do about this Charmely since he's in the game, because that can be quite potent if they let a couple of his picks go through. It looks like they're actually going to ban out Annie here. I'm not sure if I agree with that, because we've seen Charmely super effective on Nidalee in many games in the past. Oh, they pick it! Okay.
Oh, there we go.
I like that.
It's the old Berkson strategy.
There you
ban
go.
3 champions and pick one. Boom.
There it is, and I like the set of picks that they got now that they've actually picked out that Annie or that Nidalee, because all 3 of those champions can have a super high effect in this game. Annie's been super popular in the bot lane as support recently, especially when paired up with Callista. Fizz is just super dominant. Lissandra's everywhere. I don't know about Purple Team's bans. Leona's not too big of a threat. Darius is a respectable ban. And Katarina, I'm not sure that they should be worried about that either, considering the champion pools that are on the enemy team. Unless they know something about Hound Archon or Gunner that I don't know. I feel like there is some things that could have taken away from like DCB that could have helped them out.
Yeah, definitely. Like the Darius ban, I understand playing against Dunk, but again, he can play so many different champions. Like I've in the time I've played with him, I've seen him play. Like he might even play Malphite. Like he just can play pretty much any champion top.
Yeah,
so,
it doesn't really matter.
Up and move down.
Remember that like 3-week section where all he did was play AP Alistar top lane and wreck everyone with it.
Oh my
Honestly,
God.
It's hell to face up against too. It's real hell. Just
there was
because
also a year and a half where he only played Tryndamere.
There was that too, and he's bringing that back as well. I've seen him playing a lot. He's just getting a lot of games down per day, now that I think about it, because I'm pretty sure I looked at his match history 2 days ago, and like it was just Tryndamere. And today it's like all Darius. Yeah.
We would join a game with him, he'd just pick Tryndamere. It didn't matter. He could be the last pick, and we could need a support. Tryndamere!
Exactly. I'm just going to yell at him a lot and then spin in. Alright, so teams look like they're rounding out right now a bit. Purple Team's going to go for a bit of pick potential with some hard engage mixed in there. I like that they have the disengage potential of the Sona and Callista if need be, or the hard engage option with that Flash Crescendo or the Cyclone coming out of Wukong. Charmely is going to pick up the high skill cap Lee Sin, so expect a lot of ward jumps here. What do you think about Blue Team's comp right now?
Oh, sorry?
I said, what do you think about Blue Team's comp right now?
It's got a little bit of that Exodia going on. You got the Blitzcrank and the Malphite, but I don't know. You got like engage, but then you got pull away. They do have a little bit of disengage on the Tristana. They really want to dive in, but then they also have Nidalee, so it's a little bit disjointed in that fact. They have 1 poke champion and then 4 kind of I want to fight champions, so be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, definitely. I like the Diana pickup as well. She's actually been seeing a lot of play in the pro scene recently. During IEM, a lot of the casters were saying that she's a good pickup to counter the Zed split push, considering she's got such high burst damage and can purchase Zonias and still push down towers just like he can. As a past Diana player, do you have any comments or tips or tricks on that champion?
Oh, tips or tricks? Well, yeah, as you said, back in Season 3, I did play a lot of Diana, probably my most ranked play champion. Now that you know that I actually did play rank in season 3.
Yeah.
But she's got a lot of actual utility you don't realize. I think she did see popularity in pro play. I think late season 3, Reginald and Scar used to play her a lot, and they actually used her as kind of an engaged champion. It was almost like the Messiah TF. You would just like jump into the backline and then Zonia's, and you would get that E, the moonfall on everyone.
Right.
And that's really what she did. And they kind of when she first came out, they wanted her to be an assassin, and then they wanted her to be a tanky fighter, and now she's somewhere in between, and you can kind of play her both ways. She can do a lot of things, and I'm glad she's seeing pro play, because I would like to see her back in the spotlight. She's definitely a fun champion.
Yeah, she's...
Against Anivia, that might be a hard lane.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for her if that's the lane magic she ends up with. But I think that it's actually going to be a Nidalee mid lane along with a Diana jungle. We are in the 3-minute delay now, so the summoner spells have been locked in. Interestingly enough, that Anivia is going with teleport. I feel like that's a little bit slow. If she gets dived on in the mid lane from this Malphite, because we know that Dunk Prophecy loves to roam, and if Diana shows up as well, she's going to be really hard pressed if that flash is not up. What do you think about that summoner spell choice in regards to, compare that to like a heal take? Because I feel like typically your Anivia you want like ignite or heal rather than in a teleport. Yeah.
Well, I think I understand where it comes from, because I can't remember who it was, but it might have been WE's mid laner was running teleport on Diana.
Right, yeah,
it gave them a little bit of utility, and some people take teleport as like, oh, I'm going to make these ganks with it or make these big plays, but definitely I think I'm in Anivia. I think Ignite might have been the better choice here, or heal, because you may get dove under tower. In fact, you will get dove under tower when Dunk Prophecy comes down, and if Diana comes too, so... combine an Ignite with your stun, you could probably pick up a kill and 1-for-1, maybe even bait with your egg. I just don't think teleport is going to make Anivia really weak in lane. Anivia's already pretty weak early, but it's just not really going to be able to do much in lane. Just really going to have to farm for that late game and hopefully make some big teleports. And honestly, Anivia teleports into your lane, it's not as devastating as a lot of other things. Like, it almost better would be for her to stay mid and push.
Yeah, like, I feel like the big selling point in Anivia is the post-6 lane stability rather than being known for roaming super hard. Yes, you can roam on that Anivia, but once you get into the lane, you don't have any really gap close. You can put down the wall, but unless you've been putting some, like, 1 or 2 points into it, well, probably like 2 to 3 points actually before it becomes super effective. It's going to be kind of lackluster once you arrive. Not only that, but I feel like most of these lanes can kind of take care of themselves, and you should leave it up to Wukong to take that teleport. But we'll see how it plays out, because that hyper-aggressive double TP playstyle can work if you're looking to get early dragon control. But both your top laner and mid laner really need to be on point, and they both need to have their waves pushed at the same time. Otherwise, you lose a huge amount of turret damage, and your gank can end up not working well in the first place.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a disclaimer from watching kind of pro strategies. You see the double teleport, the teleport out of the mid laner. A lot of that requires good communication. So these guys are in Curse Voice, they might be able to make it work out. But if they're not, they might kind of struggle to get that communication and that synergy down with those teleports. Yeah,
it's really, really rough not being able to talk to people directly. So that's why we always recommend, guys, if you don't have Curse Voice already, go look it up on the internet, go download it, and use it in these 5v5 matchups. Because it will give you a much better time in the game. You get to, talk to your teammates, and this is the LowElo community, so it is not all ragey and whatnot like you typically would experience in solo queue. So you can have a good time with that, make some complex strategies, do what I did with, I think I was playing with Tan and Bags, and I took the tunnel level 1 on Bard and just invaded their invaded their blue buff with the entire team. We went down bot lane and went over the fat corner, and then just landed directly in Tribrush, and their ADC was just standing in front of the Gromp spawn point, just unaware, and just wrecking.
Oh man, that just takes Tan to a whole new level with his level 1 advance.
Yeah, man, it was his dream. It was his dream. We just walked through the wall, and I was like, alright, we got him.
Back in the day when Twisted Fate in the beta, you ever see that video how he could use his level 1 teleport, back in beta? For those that don't know, Twisted Fate's ultimate used to be his E, and he could teleport at level 1. He would teleport behind in the bottom lane, he would teleport behind the turret to that brush between the 2 bottom lane turrets, and he'd put a ward there, and then the rest of his team would teleport on top of the ward, and then they would kill enemy bot lane coming down. It's really old. It's from beta, but I gotta find that video because it is actually really funny.
Oh my goodness, dude! Beta was a crazy place. It was a crazy place. So many things allowed that just won't fly anymore. All right, let me make sure that
Fate in particular, he had an AOE stun on his gold card, and his ult was just a AOE vision and slow. That was ridiculous.
Interesting. All right, I think we got Malphite top lane here.
Okay, that makes sense. Gator usually, or Dunk Prophecy, whatever his name is now, he usually doesn't like to not be in the top lane.
Yeah. It's always a little bit weird for him. We do have a DJ Sona in the game, so it's going to be cool to see her bebopping around the rift.
Oh, nice. Get that music going. I gotta turn my summoner names back on. I actually turned that off recently. It keeps you less distracted.
It definitely does. It's just, you're not focused on who you're playing against, and you just, I don't know. You just go, that's a Callista.
So interestingly, Anivia is starting the double fairy charm. Definitely going to be going for that early farming. I don't know about that though. I guess you get mana back in the health, but I feel like getting the flask pots at that point to be stronger. You get flask, 1 health pot, and 2 mana pots might do what you're trying to do a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel like when I see people who go double fairy chime or double rejuve beat or whatever, they feel like they won't get any value out of the flask, but you have to always remember that thing refills every time you go back, and it's probably one of the most gold efficient items in the game. You know, once you use it, once you fill it up twice after the initial purchase. So I really feel like it's a value buy.
You have to think about too that it gets you closer to your chalice as well, right off the bat. So I mean, it is kind of like I'm going to build something more quickly build, but it does. You're right. You don't have as much mana regen or as much regen as you would have if you had bought the flask.
Yeah, and not only that, but it gives you a little bit more HP regen, which means you can compensate some of that mana with more auto attacks and just be a little bit more aggressive in that regard. So in terms of early starts, I really feel like that flask, if you're looking for a high mana build, is the way to go. So both junglers here are going to start Gromp Camp. Interesting choice on Diana to actually start on that top side of the map. A lot of times we see that the jungler from blue side will start over at their bottom side where they can get a leash from their ADC and support and kind of clear a little bit more fast, but it might be a race to the finish here if that Gromp start is good enough. Looks like Charmely is going to invade actually. Gets a deep ward down and just starts going for this red buff. Assumes that Diana has started blue and then just starts taking that red away.
So interesting assumption there. I never would have made that assumption. I would have figured Diana started bot lane, but it pays off here for Lee Sin. He's going to pick up that red. So
yeah.
That's going to put Diana behind because she's probably going to run down there and not think to go up.
Yeah, and not only that, but none of the other team none of their team knows that this is happening. Mid lane, a little bit of aggressive trading going down between Seer and SKT Zephyr there. Zephyr getting that spear in. Top lane, though, Dunk Prophecy and They Call Me Jim are going head-to-head. Dunk Prophecy's definitely going to pick up this kill here. Wukong flashing out a little bit late after that Ignite went down. Stun lands onto Zephyr in the mid lane, and Charmely just auto-attacks it a single time for the kill. Oh my goodness, he's going to have such a huge impact now, knowing that the Diana has no red buff, and he's got an early kill on him as well. He's going to be able to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's kind of the dream as Lee Sin is getting off to that quick start and being able to, because it's just going to be so much easier for him to go around and make plays now. And he's gonna 3-buff Diana, so Diana, who's already a very slow jungler to begin with, is going to be behind. Hopefully this mid farm will help her out.
Yeah, she's really got to. I would honestly try to force that all the way in. Just to try to catch up on one person, because if not, it's just going to hit the turret and it's going to go to waste.
But no one's got nuts answer now.
At this point in the game, it's probably a good idea for Diana to start roaming around top lane, really putting pressure on this Wukong who just blew his flash, and try to get Dunk Prophecy rolling, because that's a good, really good pressure point that they know that they can get some value out of if he gets started.
Yeah, definitely, and it was interesting too because the two junglers kind of went for definitely different starts. Lee Sin going for the invade, and Diana going for the more clear, where you do your first buff, but then you do all of the camps around that first buff. She didn't do Scuttle Crab though. Normally I would do Scuttle Crab after that. Then you get your item and go in. You get a hook in the bot lane though.
Yeah, a little bit of hook and pressure down in the bottom lane. Kuju manages to get back out without too much damage going down, but they are going to have to be wary because that Sona is very, very squishy. In the mid lane, Zephyr gets a spear down, actually gets instantly stunned by Seer, and a good amount of damage gets returned there.
Anivia is such a pain when she gets ahead.
Yeah, it really, really is. He leaps in, procs the egg. The egg's going to put him back at full HP since he was under tower. It's not going to be a kill. Bottom lane, a lot of aggressive pressure going down on from Fatal Finish and Kuchu onto Dark Crimson Blade, but Gunnar shows up in the back line trying to get the damage down onto Fatal Finish. He's able to hop back out. Dark Crimson Blade jumps in with Rocket Jump, gets the slowdown. Exhaust goes down from Hound Archon. He's trying to get in range to get a knock-up, not going to quite find it, but they will pick up the damage with Dark Crimson Blade there. They call me Jim, trading a bit on Dunk Prophecy, but he's just so far behind right now. This AP is destroying his health bar.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Dunk Prophecy's probably going to pick up his kill.
Is too good.
Yeah, flash forward, one more pizza, ground slam, he's able to knock that kill over. Mid lane, Charmely finds a kill onto SKT Zephyr. There's so much action going on right after.
So much going on.
Yeah, one after the other here, and this game's going to start accelerating very quickly.
It's interesting too because it's not one-sided. You know, a lot of times you see all the action happen for one team and they get super ahead, but they're still pretty even because you got Fed Lee Sin kind of versus a Fed Malphite right now.
Oh, pull in from the Dark Hound Archon in the bottom lane. Kuju takes an enormous amount of minion damage there. Going to be forced to base right now, which is bad because Fatal Finish just got back into lane, and he's going to want to hang out and try to be there to support him. Alright, so junglers just returning to their jungle. I am going to step away for just a second and close my door and kick this cat out. I'll be right back.
Get out of here. Oh, got an ult in from Malphite, picking up the kill on Charmely, so that's pretty good. Gets no shutdown gold, but slows him down a bit and gets himself a little bit further ahead. So good use of the roam and the ult by Malphite.
Alright, here we go. So Dunk Prophecy
so
sitting...
So you just missed a kill.
Yeah, I saw it going down once I stood up. Dunk Prophecy sitting 3-0 right now. 19 farm at 6 minutes, but that gold value he's getting out of these kills is putting him on the top of the gold charts. Charmely in a close second place, only 100 gold behind, and he's got those Moby boots already. Not going for that Sightstone early on for the dash plays, just looking to really get around the map and be in position more than getting the short distance hops. Oh my goodness! On the bottom lane, it looks like Fatal Finish gets that Ren damage down and picks up that kill, nice and easy.
Yeah, I like the Moby Boots pickup on Charmely here, just because you get the Sightstone early. I think the movement speed, at least as your first item, is just going to be more useful for him, especially since he's ahead. Really needs to help out this Wukong though.
Yep. Alright, so Gunnar is looking for a potential gank up in the top lane. May not be able to find it though. Just going to go ahead and pick up this Scuttle Crab in the river. They call me Jim. Pops his clone early to try to dodge a little bit of damage from these Malphite Qs, but he just needs to be very careful. He's taking so much damage and spam pinging that he needs help.
He honestly should back and TP back at this point. He has the TP, that's what he needs to do.
Yep, definitely does. Meanwhile,
he needs to get some kind of item.
Yeah, he's got to get something rolling. He needs to honestly just stop building this Brutalizer and get Hex Drinker. Oh, Pole goes in on the bottom lane after the ulti comes out. A Fatal Finish. Good auto attacks going down into Dark Crimson Blade. Can he get the Rend in time? It looks like he's actually going to heal through the explosive charge from Tristana, and he's going to be able to get away from that fight. Dunk Prophecy now possibly going for a dive on this Wukong. He knocks it over very quickly before Gunnar can even get his face in the picture, and Lee Sin kind of has to watch his buddy go down.
Wukong's being a little bit greedy there. He honestly, even before that happened, he really needed to be and TP back the lane with some kind of defensive item, or at least with more health, because you got to know that was coming.
Oh man! All right, so this bottom lane is a little bit of trouble as well. Callista is getting rolling right now, and it looks like she's potentially going for the early Bork purchase, which is really, really strong on that champion. If she can get that done, there's not going to be much that blue side can do. It looks like DCB finds them in the brush and ends up taking a couple auto attacks to the face. Q does not land for Fatal Finish, and he takes an auto attack from the turret in response. Dark Crimson Blade a little bit too squeamish to go in right now. Even though he does have quite a bit of an item advantage, he doesn't want to fight that 2v1.
Yeah, he needs to get that level 6 too. He needs that ability to disengage on a fight. So
Yeah.
let's see where the junglers are. I was
Alright.
gonna say something earlier. Never mind.
Real quick, if you guys are in the chat and you're looking to play next game, stick around. Join the LowElo chat room in your League of Legends client, or LowElo 2, depending on if the first one's
Mid lane.
full, and then we'll
Good
pick you
gank.
up. Yep, good gank there coming out from Wukong to just pick up that easy kill on Zephyr. Icicle comes out from Anivia, and Charmely is going deep here, looking for the potential Q. Can't quite find it as Gunnar has disconnected. Looks like he got it.
Yeah, he's looking for the Q here. Yeah, you need to leave. Just gotta back off. At some point, you just need to realize I gotta back off and not die.
Yeah, definitely. So Gunnar needed to just disengage there, stay safe, because it's either they get the turret or they get both your life and the turret, and I think that saving your own life there is probably the better of the two. Top lane, Malphite picks up yet another kill, and he's really getting out of control here. I imagine he's looking to go from Morello Nobcon purchase, since he's got that Fiendish Codex, and that'll just give him so much cooldown reduction. He'll just be able to ult way too much.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see where he goes. If he's just gonna go full AP, knowing Gator, he probably will, or if he goes a little more tanky.
Yep. It looks like bottom lane, the return damage coming in from Kuju and Fatal Finish onto Dark Crimson Blade knocks him over, and Hound Archon's left by his lonesome to walk away. It's very... It's rough, because what happened was Blitz pulled in Sona, he didn't get the knock-up because she flashed out, and then his silence went off, and then he just didn't have any targets to auto-attack. He didn't run towards Callista to keep her aggro on him. He gets the pull down on Kuju once again. Looks like Zephyr's going to be the one who picks up that kill. Fatal Finish just trying to stay in here and get some more damage down before they get these minions on turret. And he might honestly be able to outplay this. Charmbley comes into frame here. He gets the QRQ very quickly, and now he's trying to find Zephyr. Can he get in range? Can't quite find it. Gets pulled into a 2v1. Actually, Spear lands onto Fatal Finish and gets chunked down very low. Seer walks down into lane. Icicle lands. Can't quite get the damage down, though, and the stun barely misses over Hound Archon. Charmbley and Fatal Finish, along with Seer, are going to all three back away, considering... Dark Crimson Blade is back in lane, and they don't quite have the health bars to fight this.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened with the experience, because there was a point where DCB and Fatal Finish were at the same farm, both had a kill, and DCB was just a level behind, and that's what experience does. I mean, being behind an experience, you lose those levels, you lose those passive stats, and it's hard to come back from that.
Yep. Also, Arget, we do read chat. I answered your question. I just didn't refer to you by name, so if you were paying attention, you would know that. Dark Crimson Blade going deep. 2v1, trying to get the bounce damage in with the rocket jump. Can't quite find it because of that exhaust, and gets knocked over. Yeah, good bait.
Yeah, just at this point, just trying to pick up kills, but I mean, you gotta understand, you gotta just sit back and farm.
Is he looking for the... Is he going for Will of the Ancients? What is the double amp tune for?
That would be Will of the Ancients, or... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's just picking up more AP because he's Gator.
Hey, he might be greedy.
That's Will of the Ancient. Yeah, maybe he's going for a Gunblade. Gunblade Malphite.
Oh my goodness, that would be hilarious. Mid lane, Charmely shows up, finds SKT Zephyr.
I'm gonna shoot you, then I'm gonna crash into you.
Yeah, can't quite find the R though. He's really unsure if he's got the damage to fight that 1v1, though right now, being 4-1-0, having that smite available as well as the warrior enchant, he's very, very high damage at the moment, and I like the fact that he's already getting magic resist. He knows that Nidalee's a threat, even though she's behind. There's a lot of magic damage coming out of the enemy team. It would be very, very good for their team to have an Aegis, and he's the one to start building it.
Yep. Yeah, very smart item build. Very smart item build. Even before the Sightstone, realizing... the only threat that they have right now or the biggest threat they have is this magic damage, and I need to negate that.
Yeah. Alright, so Charmely and Seer just going in for some aggressive invading here. Will they find this Diana? Not quite. Gunnar just disengaging there. Now they call me Jim, doing a little bit of brush camping over by the chickens. Downside... Looks like Seer's been found out. Q lands, and that's going to be a kill once again for Charmely. And Red's just got so much pressure around this dragon pit. I don't.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Malphite roam a little bit more there.
Yeah, and it's he's a huge factor for their team right now. If they can get him into a team fight along with like a Diana and just leave Triss in a position where she can free shoot people, they're going to be very well off. Ooh, good damage goes down from Malphite there. Dark Crimson Blade can't quite jump forward. He jumps very far forward, getting the insect ulti onto Anivia, but it's just not the kind of engage that they wanted right there. They really wanted to keep him safe so he can get consistent damage down. Dunk Prophecy throws the Q out onto Charmely. He gets the auto attack speed slowed down. Charmely looking for maybe a follow-up Q to finish up this kill, but can't quite get the cooldown up in time. Malphite's going to walk away from that one.
Yeah, I feel like what needed to happen there, they were going for the pull and the steal. I think if they had walked around the side and walked in with their Malphite a little bit earlier, they could have gotten a better fight off. But at that point, they couldn't get the Fatal Finish, and he just cleaned up. That's what Kalista does.
Yeah, pretty much. Diana also got isolated in that fight, I believe. I think she was the only one who actually jumped over that back wall. And kind of just got cleaned up alone. If she had, like you said, if they had all gone behind Malphite and he had engaged and gotten that, 3-4 person knockup, and then Diana went in and clustered them, it would have been pretty much over. That would have been a one-team fight, because Blitzcrank could have just walked in, pressed R, and Trisk would have been left that entire time to just free fire.
Yeah, and BCB there going for the insect on the no mana Anivia, but at that point you just got to realize that you just got to sit back and put down those auto attacks and get away if you have to. It's kind of the Tristana syndrome to want to jump in and finish off low health people, but you have that huge. Even at this point, you have pretty good range, and it's just better to save that rocket jump or disengage.
Yeah, it really is.
I know you feel differently.
Oh no! I recognize that as a problem for myself as well. Good pull on the bottom lane, goes down on Kuju. Dark Crimson Blade preemptively jumps back, just sensing that the ulti was going to come out of Sona. It doesn't though. They are going to get really nice damage on DCB, and the Ren takes him out nice and easy. He's got the Bork, man. The Bork makes all the difference in this early game damage.
It really does.
Oh my goodness.
Kalista story. This is why I ban Kalista in games. It's just, if she gets going, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's just so hard to beat her.
Yeah, it's hard to shut her down. They do have the tools in this game, though. I will say that. Malphite is one of the best people you can have against the Kalista. You can close the gap very easily and shut down a lot of her scaling just with that auto attack speed reduction. Good stun goes down, and they're going to pick up Zephyr first before taking out Gunnar as well. And this is what we're talking about. If you don't have proper control on this Kalista, she snowballs very quickly out of control. She's got 9 kills already at 17 minutes, putting her team's gold lead up 6k as we see They Call Me Jim going in on Dunk Prophecy top lane. He's trying to get the damage down, one more auto attack, but he's not able to find it before Dunk Prophecy closes out the kill. Hound Archon just getting danced on right there after that pole misses and just gets zeroed out once again. This blue buff on Fatal Finish means he can stick around as long as he wants, even though he's already sitting on, both of them are sitting on 2k gold. Sona has made a huge amount of money this game. Oh my goodness.
Nope, nice kick. There's just so much going on. Death after death. I want to say something about each one, but then it just disappears too quickly.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I will say, to your comment on the tools, it's kind of like Blue Team has the hammer to put the nail in, but they reach for a screwdriver.
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
They're just not using, like, Malphite needs to be with them, they need to be grouped, and they need to try to get this Kalista. They needed to shut her down, and at this point, it's just snowballing out of control, and because of it, people like Diana are just too far behind and picked off like this.
Yeah, they definitely...
Look at that damage.
Definitely are. At this point, I would say that Kalista may even ignore the Runaan's Hurricane and start going straight for that Bloodthirster that she likes to get. And, I mean, because she's already got enough attack speed. Her single target damage is so high right now that she doesn't even need to be worried about getting everyone at the same time. She just needs to take her 1v1v1v1s in these team fights. And
the unfortunate thing for Blue Team is they would be really strong if they were ahead. But the champions they have, like Blitzcrank when you're behind, unless you can really coordinate setting up a pick on an isolated person, you just can't do too much with it. And Diana behind as well is just not that strong of a champion. And that's why I don't normally play Diana out of the jungle. I know she can do it, but especially against a Lee Sin who got such a strong start, there's really nothing you can do as Diana jungle at that point but farm and hope that your team can pull back into the game and you can catch up.
Yeah, it's really rough for her right now. Also, remember, starting off the game, missing that red buff as Charmely just went for the super aggressive invade. It's just... really rough time for Diana here. The thing about that invade as well is he came in at an angle which meant that if Diana did start Krugs, she would have been doing the red buff once he got there, and I think he would have been able to come in outside of vision and just start fighting her, and it would have been potentially a kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I remember I actually played a LowElo game a little while ago, and I started Krugs. And as soon as I got to my red buff, I got killed by the enemy. Or no, I was on the purple side, and I got invaded at my first buff by a Wukong and got killed. And it was very unexpected, but it can work.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Lee Sin was going for there, but Diana just wasn't there.
Yeah, with the potential.
It worked out either way.
With the potential to get such a quick level 2 from the jungle, I would say that level 2 aggression from the jungle should be a lot more common, a lot more prevalent, especially even with lane ganks. We see Dark Prince of Blade getting caught out right there in the enemy jungle, trying to escape, but just not finding any room to get away. This is snowballing quite quickly out of control here. 20 minutes, already a 7k gold lead. Third dragon coming in for red team, and they just need to get bunched up here and start pushing these turrets down, or actually maybe just looking for more skirmish fighting. I don't know, because their turret range is very short.
It is pretty short, and the skirmishing does seem to work out for them. What they really should do is they need to push into the enemy jungle. They need more deep wards. They only have 2 wards out on the map right now, and they're both kind of on their side of the map. I'd really prioritize now getting wards deeper in the jungle. They should have a lot more of their trinkets upgraded at this point, and just putting wards all over the enemy jungle and just catching people. Like right now, if they had awarded that blue buff, they could kill Diana pretty easily.
Yeah, they definitely could. They've got that single target burst out of Lee Sin and Wukong. If they really want to get these picks, like you said, they got to get that vision control. And speaking on that point, you know, it looks like Lee Sin has actually delayed the finish of this Aegis. Oh my goodness, so much burst damage going down into Seer. He gets his egg popped by that Anivia spear, and they're going to just take this kill for free and push up the mid lane, it looks like. Dunk Prophecy just does so much damage right now, despite the rest of his team being far behind. He is 9-0-0 with a decent chunk of CS. Looks like They Call Me Jim's going to find Dark Crimson Blade on the top side of the map there. DCB is not going to be able to get away. Take it back. They Call Me Jim didn't Cyclone during that jump, but it looks like he's just going to be able to close that distance, cancel the Cyclone early, and get the proc with his auto attack done.
Blue team does have one chance, and it's this Malphite, and what they really need is they need a godlike Malphite right now. They need Fatal Finish to be blown up pretty much in one Malphite ult. That's what they need.
Yeah, a single Malphite ult
potentially win a team fight.
Could win the entire thing here, but Fatal Finish is on that mechanics game right now, right-clicking his way to and from victory, just there and back again. He's got that Runat's Hurricane finished as well, so the self-peel with Rend, when people, when you're not actually targeting, a side target is really, really strong at the moment. These spears will do work as well. You see them going down here. Fatal Finish gets jumped on by Malphite. Can't quite get the damage, though. It was very interesting to look like Fatal didn't even get knocked up there. Gunner's trying to close the gap. Can't quite find it, and now Zephyr's in trouble. He gets flashed on, and that's a triple kill.
Nice. Yeah, so, again, I don't know how he didn't get knocked up there. That was weird. Did he get... No, how did he not get knocked up? I gotta look at that again.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna step back real quick and take a look at this replay. Alright, so...
Some Malphite's here.
Alright, so Q lands on him. Yeah, he just doesn't get knocked up.
Because the damage went down. Oh, that's really strange.
I keep missing it because it happens so quickly.
Maybe it's a glitch. She's in the middle of her hop or something.
Maybe, but even then it should just interrupt the hop and knock her out.
Yeah, that was very strange. Anyway, back to reality.
It does the damage. She stops moving for a second. Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay, the Sona heal is so enormous right now that I was like, how did she also just not get bursted out? It's because the Sona heal, along with Summer heal, kept her alive. But let's go back to live here. Yeah, Sona's very far ahead right now. I believe the last time I checked their total gold value, it was higher than their mid lane. Pole goes in on Wukong.
Oh,
He technically could have engaged right there, but it looks like he's just going to scoot his way out of that one with the clone. Because their Callista's enormous. She's got the 3 items she needs to dominate a team. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they need to play around that.
So what Blue Team should have done when they had Dunk so strong is they really need to do something cheesy like Pink Water Brush and hope someone walks into it. I mean, they really just need to get picks. There's really no... Tristana's so far behind right now that she's not going to be able to turn into that late game Tristana for a very long time, so it doesn't really seem good for me right now.
Yeah, down 30 farm, 14 kills, 2 items total. It's a huge gold deficit at the moment, and that's even with Callista sitting on 1k gold in the pocket. He's going to be able to. And the thing about it is he has not had to build any sort of penetration right now. No one in the team is ready to handle any sort of damage coming out of this Callista, and it's just allowing him to do so much. Charmely goes 1v1 versus Dark Crimson Blade, and DCB is forced to flash away. Can't quite get the damage down to pick up DCB though, but here comes Malphite. Dunk Prophecy goes hard onto Kuju and picks up the kill. Sona ulti goes down, but it doesn't quite lock up anyone in a way that allows Red Team to really react and get any more picks down. Now Red Team's going to still stay aggressive.
I mean, yeah, he kills the Sona, but Callista's still alive, so...
Yeah, they need to get the Dream Hook here if they're going to do anything.
Yeah. But again, I really feel like Red Team really should have had cracked this inhibitor a while ago, and they could have done it if they just had more ward control in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, definitely could have.
They have no wards.
Blue is very confined to their base right now. Fatal Finish gets some decent damage down into Gunner. Gets pulled in from Hound Archon, and that could be his life. No, he's hopping his way back out to victory. Shield comes out from Lee Sin as well to keep him alive there. He's going to be able to heal up off these minions. Nope. Anivia says, I need those. Uh-oh. Lee Sin brings the bomb to Fatal Finish. Fatal Finish jumps away, though. Looks like the exploding shot, or the Buster Shot, pushes them over the wall there and just away from Trist. Fatal Finish just looking for a place he can heal. He's going to find these chickens. Ulti comes out from Malphite. He's able to cut down Fatal Finish. That's what they need to find. He's going to try to escape through this jungle. The rest of Blue Team just forcing out this minion whip, trying to protect their turret. Sona really wants to find some damage, but doesn't really want to find some damage. She just kind of threw some auto attacks and turned around.
Going on DCP, pretty easy.
Yeah.
Those over the wall wards when you're confined to your base are pretty important.
Yeah, very, very true.
Just to see out things like that.
Fourth dragon,
as well as the pink wards right inside your base, so you can see wards that come over the wall.
Yeah, that way you can clear them out and prevent those over the wall engages, because they can be pretty surprising. And when a team is 14k ahead, they are not hesitant to jump right in and look for someone to blow up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just definitely tough to be in this position, having been in it many times before. There's not a lot you can do. You can get a few picks here and there, but they're at the point, honestly, even if they pick someone off, they're going to lose the 4v5, especially as long as Callista's still alive.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Anivia is starting to become a very strong threat as well. That AoE damage and the amount that comes out of that icicle is just so high, even without items. That you still have to respect her no matter where she is at, as long as she's got levels under her belt.
Yeah, and looking at it comp-wise too, we haven't really talked about Anivia that much, but she just being able to sit there and have her ult on provides another layer of protection for Fatal Finish, because not only do you have to chase after the Callista bouncing away from you, but you also have to do it through all of Anivia's damage, which is suicide. Yeah,
it's really, really bad trying to do that. Looks like Fatal Finish is going to slow down building any more damage at the moment. Like I said, he doesn't really need to get any penetration, so he's going to go and protect himself with some magic resist. Kick comes out of Charmely, trying to escape this 3v1. He dashes to a ward there, can't quite get away, but doesn't really matter, because actually the great Malphite ulti comes out onto Fatal Finish. Can't quite finish off the kill there, and Fatal Finish is just going to hop his way out of this one. Looks like Red Team's in a position where they can potentially take a Baron here, having that super fed Callista.
We can do it right here. Yeah, again, and that's what I was talking about. They were able to get a pick, but at the end of the day, Fatal Finish is still alive. They cannot win the 4v5, and they had to go through Anivia's, in that tight corner, they had to go through Anivia's damage to get to her in the first place, so...
Yeah. Pull comes out from Hound Archon. They're going to wall him off and take away his escape options there. Pick up a kill and Baron at the same time. Red team probably going to go back to base, reset, regroup, and then push up. They're very, very strong right now, and I think they can kind of do whatever they want. If their Wukong was a little bit more tanky, I'd say just send him in whenever they get to a turret and just start diving.
Yeah, they could pretty much do whatever they want. If they just want to walk into the base right now, they can. They're taking it slow, but honestly, they don't really need to. They could just walk in that mid lane.
Yeah, they definitely could, especially with the Banshee's Veil finished on Callista. She's no longer at threat of getting Malphite ulted and killed in one shot. We saw it already, even without the full item completed. Just that magic resist being enough to take away that initial burst, along with the shield from Bloodthirster, meant that he couldn't kill her in one shot. And if you don't kill her in one shot, she's just going to live.
Yeah.
It's really, really rough right now for Blue Team. I'm not quite sure if they can really come back in the game. Actually, I know for a fact that there's no way that they can do it, and I encourage them to prove me wrong. And if they can do it, I'll be super impressed, but I just don't see it right now. Good pull over the wall, though! Kuju just sitting there looking for a pick. Gets picked himself. Hound Archon with the max range Blitzcrank grab.
And it looks like they're going kind of for, the red team's going kind of a split push strategy. They have that Anivia split pushing with that teleport, of course, and
yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to be able to get anything out of it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the Anivia teleport really be a factor at all this game. For which she ganked bot, she had locked down, but it's been kind of
maybe I didn't even see if she used it to go back to lane.
Yeah.
They're not just having trouble cracking this this inner turret. To Blue Team's credit, they're hanging on.
Yeah, they definitely are. Hound Archon just clearing out that wave as much as possible with his ulti, but it looks like they're going to refocus on mid lane. Fatal Finish doing some decent damage to the turret before backing up for fear of that Malphite ulti. Gets knocked up here. Trist also jumps in and pushes him under turret. This might be the fight that they're looking for, though. Lee Sin tries to kick out to escape. Charmley places the ward down, gets the W to it, and then flashes the wall. It looks like he's going to be able to walk away with his life. The rest of Red Team was not in position to make any push plays, and it looks like Blue Team's going to walk away with that Fatal Finish kill pretty much for free. Charmley actually just being a little bit ballsy there, turning around to pick up that blue buff on the way out.
And I misspoke earlier when I said Blitzcrank can't really do as much from behind. I mean, he's getting the hooks. I mean, that's the one thing he can do is get those hooks, and he's getting them. He got the Sona, he got the Callista in conjunction with DCB's ultimate, and it just... Yeah, that's what they need to do. I mean, they're going to need to do it a lot more times, but...
Yeah, if they're going to come back, that's how you do it. Hook does not land onto Kuju there. Almost hit They Call Me Jim. They Call Me Jim pops clone, starts walking towards the team. So that's the sign to disengage because you do not want to tango with this Wukong at the moment. Everyone on red team as well starting to stack that magic resist to the ceiling. They really need to get that penetration out there. Dunk Prophecy already has his Void Staff down, but it's going to take Nidalee and Diana getting both of theirs before they're very effective. Kuju gets jumped on by Dark Crimson Blade. Stun doesn't land from Seer. The spear from SKT Zephyr almost takes out Sona there. Can't quite find it. Spear lands onto They Call Me Jim. He notices how little damage he does, and he backs up. He does not want to get ulted. Dark Crimson Blade gets found by Wukong, gets in or interrupts the he interrupts the Nimbus Strike there with that Buster Shot.
Yeah, so I mean, Blue Team, they're doing their darndest to prove us wrong right now. They are really doing a lot to just defending well. Again, it just goes back to, I just don't think Red Team is playing this lead right. They're just like, we have leads, we want to get kills. They're not really doing what they need to do to end this game. They could have ended it a while ago. And the longer you wait, I mean, Tristana is going to get stronger eventually. Yeah,
not only that, but it looks like 5th Dragon is going to be taken here. Going to have the double and burn going on. If they can't close the game out on this push, then I'm, curious as to
that turret's really weak. They can just walk up to it and hit it, especially with that Banshee's Veil. I mean, you're not that worried about the Malphite ult. It's
pull
that's
in.
What you're worried about is walking around.
Yeah, pull in onto Charmley here. He's going to try to juke his way out of this fight again. Trying to queue back towards Triss, can't quite find it. He's probably going to go down here. Blue Team, though, needs to regroup back in mid lane as soon as possible, or they're going to lose this inhibitor. They might just lose it anyway. You know, there's no way they can get here in time. This Callista does so much damage at the moment because of that double and burn, because of that amount of gold she's got stacked on her. Just throw out the game, but he gets the pull over the wall again. Max range grab right in. Hound Archon might be the hero of the day. They need more grabs like that. Oh my goodness, he's going so fast! They just try to toss their Sona. Fatal Finish gets pulled back in. Dunk Prophecy can't quite find the damage, though. The Rend rips through the entire enemy team, but it looks like SKT Zephyr is able to find the kill. It looks like They Call Me Jim's going to jump into the fight from off the screen. Doesn't even burn his Cyclone to pick up that double kill. And now he's going to chase after SKT Zephyr. Dashes in with Nimbus Strike Flash and a crushing blow to finish off that kill. Still has his ulti up if he wants to blow someone up. He's not going to use it quite quickly enough on Dark Crimson Blade. It gets Buster Shotted backwards.
And Hound Archon is if there's an MVP for Blue Team, it's got to be him. That is, his hooks have been incredible.
Yeah, they've been really coming together here in the late game. Probably needed those a little bit earlier in the early game to kind of stop this Callista snowball.
Yeah.
They went down. I remember them going down, but he didn't follow up with auto attacks. They Call Me Jim now going in for a full-fledged initiate with that Cyclone. Will pick up the double kill on Tristana, using that crushing blow to just last hit her, and looks like they're going to knock these turrets over and end the game.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, teleport.
The Namibian teleport coming in.
Coming in big there. So GG, Red Team doing a very dominant, having a very dominant performance here in our first game of the day. Just able to snowball their lead from early game cleanly, despite the fact that Malphite started getting very large in the top lane. One of the things that I will say is he was super huge in terms of his kill count, but his CES was very lackluster, you know, for somebody who was winning the lane so hard.
Yeah, I think he started roaming, which was good, but he just kind of stopped picking up the CS. I mean, I know they got kind of pushed in a little bit later in the game, and it can be hard to pick up CS when you have beating with it for everyone, but yeah, you got to pick up that CS. I mean, that's really the difference there, and how he fell off. He could have had a whole other item.
Yeah, he definitely could have. Like, having even just like an Abyssal Scepter or something additional to this build right here would have helped him a lot. Being able to survive a little bit more of the damage coming out of Sona and Anivia, and really enhancing his damage that he was getting to Callista a little bit earlier in the game would have helped him out. But really, I think the big factor from him was he just didn't group early enough. Had he been with the team when he was 9-0, you know, just sat with his team and then looked for that Callista ulti, he might have been able to pull it back, but it's really rough.
Yeah, my client just crashed, so I'm logging back in.
Gotcha.
That solid state hard drive I just got doing work, getting me in pretty quick. But yeah, definitely, I would have liked to see him roam a little bit earlier, kind of take more advantage of that damage he had. If you're going to build full AP Alpha, you got to understand that your damage is going to fall off later. That happens to a lot of burst champions.
Yeah.
When they start building those magic resists.
So, Kuju asking in the chat what he can be doing better. I'm looking at your build right now, and I'm remembering your playstyle from in the game. Your vision control is pretty much non-existent. You are playing based off your snowball in the bottom lane. You don't have Sightstone, you don't have the enhanced sweeper. These are the things that would have closed out your game a lot sooner, because you can pick off people who are unsuspecting to you being in the brush or in the jungle somewhere and really take over the game a lot sooner than you guys actually did. Despite the game going very quickly, it could have gone even faster if you had that deep vision and you had the ward sweeps.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that deep vision. I mean, even early in the game, just as both a jungler and a support, just getting into that and getting those deep wards, it just lets you know where the enemy jungler is, it lets you know what their team is doing, and allows you to get those picks. And if you get those deep wards in and you see where the jungler is, that allows other lanes to play more aggressively. So by getting that Sightstone and getting into the enemy jungle and getting those wards down, you help your other lanes as well. It just kind of allows you to support the whole map.
Yeah, it really does. That information allows your mid lane to play more aggressive. It allows your jungler to invade a little bit more effectively. A whole bunch of things come out of that